I'm a freshman in high school. I've recently moved to a small town with my great aunt Joyce, due to some issues with my mom. I've never been in this town, save for a couple of visits when I was little. To get myself acclimated and sort of adjust to moving from an apartment complex to the suburbs, I've been exploring, going to Wedgwood, a park I'm familiar with, and finding different ways to get home, different streets to take. A day in June, at the end of my 8th grade school year, I decided to take a convoluted way, turning onto McRace from Wilson, turning onto Ottawa from McRace, and eventually reaching Prairie, where I live. The second I peered over a tall bush by the sidewalk, about to turn onto McRace, it disappeared. I was leaning on it slightly, and I almost stumbled forward. It disappeared. I thought I was having some kind of episode. I assumed it had something to do with sleep deprivation and tried to keep walking along McRace. It was completely cloudy and sprinkling. The sky was gray and dark, but I felt an urge to shield my eyes from the sun that wasn't present. I kept my eyes on the ground, watching my feet. I felt like I was falling out of rhythm. I was kind of scared at this point and wanted to get home as soon as I could. My eyes were suddenly and unexplainably drawn to a house across the street. I saw a teenage girl in a white blouse and plaid skirt that were too small for her, with unnaturally fluffed hair, maybe permed, and weirdly shaped thick glasses in the front yard of the house. She was there with two younger girls, maybe 10 and 8. The older girl was sitting on the front steps, keeping an eye on the two younger ones. I think I saw a boy toddler out of the corner of my eye a couple of times, but I never straight saw him, if that makes sense. I felt like I was in a fog. I felt the sun beating down on me when I knew it was 50 degrees at most just a minute ago. I was completely disassociated with my surroundings at this point. I was scared. I called out to the girls across the street. I don't know what I was hoping for, honestly, but I got no answer. I felt a sharp pain in my chest as the older girl called out to her, maybe sisters. All I could make out was Jack, Nance, and supper. I blinked. It had started pouring now. The girls were gone, and so was the feeling of the sun. My backpack was soaked, but I was relatively dry. I bolted onto Ottawa as fast as I could, stumbling, and turned onto Prairie. I called out to my aunt when I got to the house. I told her I wasn't feeling well, and I stayed home from school the next day. Over the summer, we talked a lot, her favorite subject being stories from when she was young. I find out my great aunt has lived in the same small town all of her life. The biggest move she's ever had was a couple blocks from her childhood home to our current home, where she's lived for over 40 years. From McRace to Prairie. She's 73 now. She was the oldest of 5 children, her siblings being Sally, Nancy, Doug, and Jack. She and I were looking through photo albums, looking for pictures of my dad, I think to make a collage or a book for him. Might have been a birthday thing. And one of the big albums was full of her life, from school pictures to family portraits. I recognized the 3 girls I saw in one of their family photos, dated 1961. I asked who they were, and she told me it was her and her sisters. Her youngest brother seemed to match the toddler I saw. The bush is still gone, by the way. I really want to know what happened. Was this a time glitch? Am I crazy? This subreddit is the reason I got a Reddit. I'm still scared about it. TLDR. I think I saw my great aunt as a teenager and her siblings at her childhood home in 1961. A bush disappeared.